Hello friends and welcome to Birdsnest Designs. I'm here today to share with you how to create this beautiful fun fold card using the Symmetry stamp set that's featured in the annual catalog. This card is featured in my Stamp of the Month club for August, and of course the stamp was the Symmetry stamp. You can find out more information about my Stamp of the Month club by visiting my website, which is createwithbirdsnest.ca. And if you click on online classes, you'll see all of my offerings, and the Stamp of the Month is something that I do every month. So let's get started with this beautiful fun fold card. If you are a member of my Stamp of the Month club and you're watching this, then you have your kit already prepared for you. So let's get all these pieces ready. Okay, so the first thing you'll notice is your card base has 4 score lines. So what you want to do is fold them into the center. So you're going to take the inner 2 folds and fold them into the center. Okay, and burnish those with your bone folder. Open that one back up, fold this one in. Okay, now while you've got that one in, now you're going to fold this score line back. Okay. So then you can go ahead and close this one and it should meet up right along that edge, and fold this one back and score that way. So now you have the card that opens like this. Okay? All right. So we are using this super awesome Sweet Symmetry Designer Series paper. I love this paper. I love the bright colors, the bold imagery. It's just so fun and fabulous. So we've got in your kit, you've got 2 strips of this beautiful multicolored floral pattern, and you've got 2 long strips of the navy floral pattern, as well as a third smaller strip. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'll give you quickly the dimensions of this card in case you're watching along. So the card itself is an 11 by 5.5, and it's scored at 2 1/8, 3 7/8, 7 1/4, and 8 7/8. Okay, so that's how your card base starts. These multicolored pattern pieces here are 1 7/8 by 5 1/4 each. Those are going to get placed on the outer edge. And these 2 strips of Designer Series paper here are 1 3/8 by 5 1/4, and those are going to get layered on here. So let's go ahead and attach. Look at how beautiful the back side of this paper is as well. Like I said before, it's fabulous paper. Okay, so we're going to start by attaching the Night of Navy pattern pieces to the inside parts here. Okay. Like so. Okay, and now let's attach these beautiful multicolored floral patterns to the outer edges of the card. This is a beautiful way to share and show off this beautiful paper too. Okay. So there we go. We're going to attach that over here. All right. So now you can see that when we fold our card in, this is what we're going to see from the front. Okay, and on the back it should look like this. So your edges should be overhanging, okay? So again, there's our front. Now let's set this aside for now. Okay, now we're going to do some stamping. So in the kit, there's also 2 pieces of basic white. One that is 3 by 5 1/4, and one that's 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So we're going to go ahead and stamp these. And for this card, the stamps we're going to use is this large flower here, the leaves right beneath it, the hey friend, and the little stem. Okay? The ink pads that we're going to be using are Night of Navy, Just Jade, and Flirty Flamingo. Okay, it's a really awesome color palette. So let's start with Flirty Flamingo. Now this piece here is our inside of our card. So if you want to go ahead and design this up, then great, go ahead and stamp it like I'm going to. If not, then just leave it blank and you can leave more room for a little note inside the card. So I'm just going to ink up my image here. And for this guy, I just want this on the inside of the card, kind of off here near the bottom. Okay, now look how bold those images are. They're just beautiful. Okay, so on this other piece, this is the focal part, the front of our card. So I want to ink up my flower stamp here, and I'm going to center it. And I've showed you guys all this trick before if you've watched along with my videos in the past. When I'm stamping on white, a small piece like this, I do like to put a darker piece behind it so that I can position it better. So that nice and inked up, and I want to center my flower, and I want it a little bit more near the top, not right at the top, but near the top. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put that down. Okay, so we're done with the Flirty Flamingo. Now I'm going to use the beautiful Just Jade, and the first thing that I want to do is stamp the stem. So I'm going to go ahead, and if you want practice and you're doing the insert, then you can go ahead and start down here. And what you want to do is this little nick in the image is where this stem is going to line up. Okay, I'm just going to stamp that in there perfectly. So we're going to do the same thing over here. And for this one, I want it to be extended. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to extend that stem down by stamping it again. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's off a little bit like that, and I'll show you why in just a sec. Okay, so now we've got that. Let's go next with these leaves here. So we've got them again in Just Jade, and I'm going to stamp it. Now, normally you would line this up, but that's gonna be really close, so I'm gonna just move it down a bit, because I want this just to kind of go off the page. So there we've got the insert of our card. How pretty is that? All right, so now let's go back to this card. So in your kit, I did mention earlier, you do have another small piece of navy floral. That is going to go across the bottom eventually. So just keep that in mind. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp these leaves because I do have that little glitch in my stamping. I'm going to make sure the leaves are going to cover that. So there's my first set of leaves. Okay, now look, you can't even see it was there. Now we're going to take the second set of leaves up a little bit farther and center it between the flower and those bottom leaves there. So now we're creating a symmetrical pattern on this card front. Okay, so that's our stamping on the white. I'll remove that. The only other thing we need to do is on our Just Jade strip, and this measures 3.5 by 3/4 inch wide, and using the Night of Navy, we can go ahead and stamp the Hey Friend right in the center. Such a great card just to send in the mail, just to say, hey, I'm thinking of you today. I love that kind of mail. Okay, so here we've got all our pieces. We're going to take our Night of Navy that's in the kit, and this measures this one measures 3 by 4. Sorry, let me just double check that. 3 by 4, correct. Okay, this is going to get layered right over top like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. And like I told you before, this piece here, this little strip of navy floral that's 7/8 by 2 3/4 is just going to go directly beneath here. All right, so there we've got that. We're going to take our insert, we're done with that now, and we're going to attach it to the middle of our card, just like that. Okay, so there we've got the center, just like that. Okay, so here is our banner for our sentiment. And if you can see on my original card here, I've got the arrowed edges. Now I did that with my banners Pick-a-Punch. If you don't have that, then of course you can just do it freehand with scissors. But I really love this punch and all the options that it offers. So I'm gonna just stick this in here, flip it over to make sure it's lined up nicely, punch that out. Okay, and then I'm gonna flip it around and do the exact same thing on the other end. Make sure it's nicely lined up. Pull that out. Okay, so a couple of dimensionals on the back. We'll center that over the card, and I want it to go over top of where the DSP meets the cardstock, like so. And now you need to have a piece of 18-inch long ribbon. So stamp of the month, as a bonus this month, everybody got a roll of this beautiful Flirty Flamingo ribbon. Okay, so let's cut 18 inches of that. So I'm just measuring it here on my grid paper. Okay, all right. So here's what we're gonna do. You want your card to be laying really flat. So if need be, go ahead and put one of your stamp blocks over top to hold it in place. And then we're going to have about 4 inches overhung on this side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, perfect. Okay, so about 4 inches, and you want it roughly center on your card this way. Okay, and this is not scientific, so don't worry if you're a little bit off. Okay, so here's what we want to do. This is our ribbon. This is how we want it placed. On the back of our stamped focal point here, on this edge on the back, okay? So when you flip it over, it's gonna be this edge. I'm gonna use tear tape. You use whatever strong adhesive that you prefer. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna use my Stamp and Seal Plus because it's more handy here. Okay, I'm just gonna take that top off. I'm just gonna double check again. I don't wanna put it on the wrong side. So I want it on this edge. Okay, and I'm going to put 2 strips. If you've never used this Stamp Seal Plus, it is amazing. It's super strong. Okay, so I'm going to slide this up so there's room. Now we want this centered on here. The idea of this is that adhesive is going to catch the ribbon to hold it in place, but you do not want your adhesive to go beyond here because otherwise it's going to glue your card shut. Okay, and that's not that wouldn't be very nice to send to somebody in the mail. So we're going to center this, and you can use your stem as a guideline for the center. And we're just going to place that down, burnish it a little with your fingers or with your bone folder, remove that, okay, and here's our card like this. So the ribbon can be used to wrap around the back like this, and then we can tie it in a pretty little bow, or not, or whatever you like, something that's going to, your recipient is going to be able to untie so they can see your beautiful work. Okay, so there we've got a really pretty bow. This ribbon is just beautiful with all its sparkle. Okay. All right, so there we've got that. Now the last thing, if you have some bling, of course, I'm sure we all do, I always like to add a little. So I'm gonna use my Take a Pick tool. And this putty end here, mine's going to need to be replaced pretty quick. And I'm just going to pull off one of these and stick it right on this side here. And of course you could add more if you want, but I like the subtle of just the one single bling there. So there we have it. There is our fun fold card using the In Symmetry stamp set for my Stamp of the Month for August. If you like what you've seen, I'd love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, send me a comment, like it, share it. Just show me the love, and I'm so happy to have shared this card with you today. I hope that it's inspired some creativity, and have fun, enjoy your day, and we'll be back soon.